my name is Laura, or King Dickens. Welcome back to my channel. It's 2021, my first video of the new year. I'm so excited and nervous to be back. I haven't filmed in 3 weeks. Yay for productivity. Today I'm showing you my classics shelves. There's a car that just pulled up outside my house and they're staring at me. Okay, keep moving. Nothing to see here. Just a girl talking to herself. Okay. Today I want to show you my classics shelves, my classic bookshelf. So I'm going to show you now what I'm talking about. So I have the Beatles up at the top. My favorite is George, in case you were wondering. You probably weren't. And then I have my top shelf, just my one decoration, is Seamus, who you've seen on the channel before. He is our mascot. Then I have my Himalayan salt lamp. And then I have 2 photos down there, which, yeah, whatever. Anyway, yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna stop babbling on. I really hope that 2021 is a good year for you. I hope it's a good year for me. I hope it's a good year for all of us, reading wise and just life wise, mental health wise, physical health wise, everything. I'm sending you good and positive vibes, babes. Alright, I hope you feel them. I hope you feel them. I do want to say, actually, before I jump right into it, that the lighting is probably really bad because it was raining when I started filming this. I've already filmed it, and now the sun's out. And it's Ireland, okay? The weather, the lighting, natural lighting, it's just never going to work for me, okay? Alright. So yeah, I'm sorry if the lighting is terrible, the quality is terrible. I film on my phone, so okay. Yeah, let's do it, alright? Let's do it. Okay. So we're going to start off with this pile here of kind of a mishmash of mass market paperbacks and just smaller classics. So the very first one that I have is The Pickwick Papers by Charles Dickens. Hard Times by Charles Dickens, Tales of Angria by Charlotte Bronte, Les Miserables by Victor Hugo, Persuasion by Jane Austen, Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, again Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, and David Copperfield by Charles Dickens. I've moved the camera so I can do it a little better, so I'm going to show you my copies of my Penguin classics. So the first one is The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas, The Warden by Anthony Trollope, The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson, So Bright and Delicate by John Keats, Agnes Grey by Anne Bronte, Northanger Abbey by... okay, excuse me, cheeky. Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen, The Professor by Charlotte Bronte, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, Lorna Doone by R.D. Blackmore, The Mayor of Casterbridge by Thomas Hardy, Armadale by Wilkie Collins, Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy, Can You Forgive Her by Anthony Trollope, Shirley by Charlotte Bronte, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, Tess of the D'Urbervilles by Thomas Hardy, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, The Life of Charlotte Bronte by Elizabeth Gaskell, and last but not least, The Complete Poems by Emily Bronte. So that is the top shelf. Next I move on to the second. So the first book is Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie, The Collected Supernatural and Weird Fiction of Mrs. Henry Wood, Volume 1. My Cousin Rachel by Daphne du Maurier, A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens, Cranford by Elizabeth Gaskell. Next I have my Oxford World Classics, War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy, Barnaby Rudge by Charles Dickens, A Simple Story by Elizabeth Inchbald, The Vampire and Other Tales of the Macabre by John Polidori, The Old Curiosity Shop by Charles Dickens, East Lynne by Ellen Wood, The Netherworld by George Gissing, The Romance of the Forest by Anne Radcliffe, First Love and Other Stories by Ivan Turgenev, and the last Oxford World Classic, The Doctor's Wife by Mary Elizabeth Braddon. Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky, Bleak House by Charles Dickens, The Complete Novels of Jane Austen. Look how beautiful this is. Are you joking me? Are you joking me? Move this big guy over. Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett, Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel, a manga of Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, and last but not least, Moby Dick or the Whale by Herman Melville. So that is the second shelf, and then the last one is all of my Penguin English Library editions. So first I have The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, Ivanhoe by Sir Walter Scott, Little Dorrit by Charles Dickens, Wives and Daughters by Elizabeth Gaskell, Villette by Charlotte Bronte, Fire from the Madding Crowd by Thomas Hardy, Emma by Jane Austen, The Scarlet Pimpernel by Baroness Orczy, Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf, North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell, Middlemarch by George Eliot, The House of Mirth by Edith Wharton, Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen, The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, Sanditon by Jane Austen, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens, Persuasion by Jane Austen, A Room with a View by E.M. Forster, The Portrait of a Lady by Henry James, Howard's End by E.M. Forster, Mansfield Park by Jane Austen, and Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Then I have two of the old Penguin Classics editions. So I have The Idiot by Fyodor Dostoevsky and Lost Illusions by Honor de Balzac. I actually prefer these old editions to the newer ones. Don't get me wrong, I love these editions. I think they're absolutely gorgeous, but I prefer the old ones. So then I have two of the Penguin Deluxe editions. I have Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen, and I have Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Then I have a second copy of Agnes Grey by Anne Bronte. This is actually my favourite Bronte book. Then I have yet another copy of Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Then I have The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells. This is the Signet Classics edition, and the last one won't stand on its own, save its life. It's called Comfort Farm by Stella Gibbons. I love this cover. Let's get my piggy bank out of the way. So they are my classics shelves as it is. You have always seen this shelf in the back of most of my old videos. I kind of haven't filmed in front of that for a while, but that is my main shelf where I keep all my fantasy, my fiction, and there's a couple of classics on there. Like straight away I can see Dracula by Bram Stoker, and there's probably a couple of others that have got mixed on there. The lighting is so bad, I'm so sorry. The majority of my Victorian classics are now on this shelf because for the longest time, for the past 2 years, they've kind of just been shoved wherever I could fit them onto different shelves and into different sections, and on the floor. They were all over the floor. So now they finally have their own shelf. I've always had this shelf, but I had makeup on it, hairbrushes, makeup brushes, eyeshadow palettes, rubbish. I'm so happy with it, and I'm going to keep it this way. I've now read one book this year so far. It is the 7th of January. The book that I read was Chronicles Volume 1 by Bob Dylan, and it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to talk about it in my January wrap-up if I make one. I do feel kind of stressed that I've only read one book, but I'm also like, it's only been 1 week and I've already read one book, so would you just calm down? So yeah, I'm trying to be nicer to myself when it comes to my reading goals. Anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If any of these books that I've shown you today are your favorites or you're planning on reading them this year, let me know and we can try and read them together, maybe on Instagram or just in the comments. We can arrange something, or we can do it on Goodreads or whatever. We can find a place to do like a little read along. I'd love to do that because that's the whole reason I started this channel, is to make bookish friends. So let's do it. I'm gonna go drink my coffee and cry. Okay. Bye, children of the corn.